Many college students like to spend their semester break soaking up the sun on a beach, but Yale sophomore Parker Liautand goes to a more exotic and colder place, Antarctica. Next month, the 19-year-old geology major will attempt to set a world record as the fastest person to reach the South Pole by foot. That is not an easy task when you're facing temperatures of 76 degrees below zero and pulling a 180-pound sled. Parker, good morning. This is, in fact, your fifth polar trek, right?
Right.
So you actually have understanding parents.
That's right. By now they're quite used to it.
What did they say in the beginning when you did this?
They're very reluctant at the beginning. It took a bit of convincing, trying to show them that I could pull it off safely.
When you hear about the details about this, 180-pound sled, 5 pairs of gloves, 5 pairs of, to just keep your core warm, you think, why is this kid doing it? But you really have a good goal in mind. You want to raise awareness about climate change.
Well, the idea behind this expedition is that we want to tell an engaging story about the changes that are occurring and why they're important, not just in the polar regions, but everywhere else in the world as well, where people live, and then also contribute to a better understanding of the climate system through our research projects.
We should point out you're not making this trip alone. You go with a teammate, it's just the two of you. But I mean, there's some pretty, what are the biggest obstacles on a trip like this?
Well, everyone faces these challenges in different ways and has their own biggest obstacle, I suppose. For me, I think the biggest challenge is the isolation and the mental part of it, because once you're in that environment, your physical capacity is what it is. And really the way that you think about it and the way that you handle the challenge, the isolation, the big scale, the distance, is what determines the outcome.
Aside from the mental, what is the physical, the extreme conditions your body is under?
Well, I have to be capable of pulling a 180-pound sled 12 hours a day for hopefully 22 days in a row. And for me, that doesn't come naturally. I'm not a natural athlete at all. It took it's sort of a change in mindset to get to the point where I could think like an athlete, work like an athlete, and train like an athlete.
But you're pulling a sled and you're also on skis during this entire time, skis with sort of grips on them, is that right?
Right, so the skis have skins, so we can slide forward very easily without having to move back, and that allows us to pull the sled without sort of staying in the same place.
And you were saying that the biggest challenge really is just the cold, yeah? The persistent, unending cold.
Right, and for me, the biggest issue with the cold is that it just doesn't stop. There's no way to go into a building and warm up, and so it's a perpetual challenge, and it's also mental, because we're going to have to be able to handle the idea of not being warm for about a month.
I'm going to ask the question your mom has probably asked 1,000 times, which is, what happens if you get hurt?
Yeah.
Well, there's some pretty extensive protocols in place in Antarctica, and it's typically very well defined. What we'll probably do, depending on the location in the expedition, will be, if there's a really serious problem that we need to be evacuated, we have to call in for an evacuation, wait for the availability of a twin otter plane or another type of plane, depending on where we are, and we have to build a runway, a 1,200-meter runway that we line with garbage bags, effectively, to guide the plane in and then be evacuated.
I want to talk about the old world record, though, because your next expedition is a 370-mile race across Antarctica to the South Pole. If you do this the way you want to do it, you'll break the world record. So what is the old record you're trying to beat?
For the old record, there's a number of different records for speed across Antarctica, but this one is 21 days, 23 hours, was set very recently by a 2-person Norwegian team, and it means we'll have to cover around 18 miles a day. 18
miles a day? And how fast do you have to go to do that?
It really depends on the number of hours, because we're not going to be walking much faster than a mile or two per hour. So the idea is, can we go for long enough each day to make the distance, and can we compress our sleep hours, or how do we balance the amount of sleep we need and the amount of rest we need versus the number of hours we can walk each day to make the distance?
Well, good luck, Parker. We're with you.
Thank you very much.
Next time we see you, we want to say congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Parker Liautand, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.